Uju relative, Shangwewe Kamigukwe Indigenous. I am Jamie Kellicutt with HIR Wellness Institute. I am our Community Engagement and Indigenous Affairs Director, and we are live for Emotional Sobriety on this beautiful Friday. It is the new year. We are going to spend some time together setting our intentions for the new year while talking about recovery and emotional sobriety. I'm just going to take a moment to smudge us and get us set for today. Xavier and John, here's some smudge for you both. Relatives, this is for you as well. Here we are, 2021. I'm going to let our smudge go. And welcome to this space here for emotional sobriety. And we are so happy that you have joined us. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. We are so glad that you are here. HIR Wellness Institute is a nonprofit in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Our CEO and founder, Leah Denny, created this nonprofit over 3 years ago by all the love that she carries, her spirit, her ancestors, her prayers. And she had this huge vision to be able to help our communities heal and have it not cost a thing. And so the services that we offer are all free. Therefore, our Indigenous communities, our underserved communities, our victims of crime, especially our relatives who have been impacted by domestic violence, sexual assault, intimate partner violence, human trafficking, MMIP, which stands for Missing and Murdered Indigenous People. So welcome. We are here for you. We are so glad that you are here. And I am very grateful and always so thankful and always happy to be here with my colleagues and my friends here, my brothers, Xavier and John. And I would like to pass it over to Xavier so he can bring his voice into this space and introduce himself and let you all know all about who he is. Hi, Xavier. Happy New Year.
Hi, Jamie. Happy New Year. Thank you for that beautiful, beautiful introduction. Thank you for the smudge. Happy New Year, relatives. We're so excited to be able to always bring this this group to you all. Being able to be in relationship again as always. Again, my name is Xavier Smart. I am a CARES counselor here at HIR Wellness Institute. And what a CARES counselor is someone that does individual therapy, group therapy, advocacy services, helping to get resource, just being able to put my energy into so many different spaces to provide support to each and every one of you relatives. It's such a blessing and an honor to be a part of this organization and to be able just to provide this just love and care and bring healing as we heal together. And just forever grateful to be able to continue these emotional sobriety lives that we bring, right? And being able to just kind of walk through what our potential groups may look like, and just continuing to learn from one another. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for your spirits, your energy. And I just look forward to many more groups, many more Facebook Lives with you all, being able to connect. And as always, being able to work with Jamie and John is such a blessing and an honor. So with that, I am now going to pass to John.
Yeah, thank you so much, Xavier, and thank you, Jamie. So my name is John, and I am a social work intern at HIR Wellness for my master's in social work. And you may have seen me from the Children's Fire Book Club on Facebook Live. If you want to go back, we do have it on our page where you can kind of view where we do read books and stuff like that for the young ones. And then I am also a co-facilitator along with Jamie on our Thursday Zoom group for survivors of suicide. And then I also help with this group on every Friday. And then I also help facilitate, no, moderate for Malia every Friday morning. So, and then also for today, whenever you see someone typing into the comment section, that is me. So feel free to drop a comment along the way. And also, I will read the comment out loud and we can kind of help engage with you. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you both, Xavier and John. I really appreciate that. And I love, Xavier, that you brought that up, that we are showing what a support group virtually would look like. So our hope is that we will be able to have virtual emotional sobriety support groups aside from this Facebook Live. And that will happen at some point when the Spirit says it's time. But for right now, what we wanted to be able to do is still have that space, still have that time that we all come together once a week. We wrap up our week at the end. We start to get ready for the weekend. And we talk about emotional sobriety and recovery. I myself am walking in recovery. So I've been on the red road for 6 years from alcohol. And I have so much gratitude for all of the resources that I found along the way, my support systems that I had, my culture, coming back to my culture and learning more, really just like my eyes being open to who I was. And so this time together, we're going to talk about all that. We're going to have moments of, we might share a little bit about ourselves. We're going to have moments where we read out of a workbook that we're using right now. And I'll show you that real quick. This is Maintaining Emotional Sobriety During COVID-19, Transforming Trauma into Post-Traumatic Growth. And that workbook is by Tian Dayton. And each week we take a little bit from that workbook. We use it as our topic to talk about and to bring that into this space. And then we talk about, what are we feeling about that? What do we think about that? How do we use that in our life? So that's a little bit about what we do here. And we always like to start with an elder's meditation. And the elder's meditation comes from this book, Meditations with Native American Elders, The Four Seasons by Don Coyes. This book and Sobriety was a big part of my beginning my wellness journey, my recovery journey. And since then, I've added other resources. Generation Red Road is one that we will talk about as well. Each of us have our own culture that we come from, and each of us have our own spirituality that we walk with. And we will bring that into this space as well. And we hope that you will want to join us on that journey, that you will want to maybe add a comment here and there. Maybe there's something that's heavy on your heart right now and you really would just like to get it out there. We'd love that. We will hold that space for you. We'll talk about it. If you have questions, let us know. John is moderating, so he will let us know when there's a comment, when there's a question, anything like that. So we're here for you, relatives. And John, if you would be so kind, could you read us the meditation for today?
Yep, I would love to. And then, relatives, I will also post the meditation into the comment section so you can kind of follow along as well. So just give me 1 second. Okay. All right, so for the Elders Meditation for today, which is the new year, January 1st, 2021, it states, because if you believe in something and believe in it long enough, it will come into being. And that's by Rolling Thunder, Cherokee. We are created by the Great One to accomplish His will through our mental pictures or visions. Our thoughts are three-dimensional. words, pictures, and feelings. We create the vision by thinking the words, and we create feeling for the vision by feeling enthusiasm, desire, commitment, and other strong beliefs. Once we create the vision, we move towards and become like which we think about. All visions are tested by our self talk. For example, this isn't going to happen. Where is the money coming from, anyways? When this happens, we need to let go of the test and focus on belief and the vision. Why? Because God said if we believe in it long enough, He will guarantee it. Great One, let my beliefs be strong today. Help me have faith in my visions.
I love that one.
Yeah.
I love that one. John, since
Yes.
you read it, what are you feeling? What are you feeling about that right now?
Yeah, actually, I love that one because it's also like just the belief of, if you want it bad enough and if you're believe in it and not give up, you're going to achieve it. And it's to have hope and have faith and to keep striving, even when you feel like it's so hard or it may be out of reach, just not giving up and just being committed towards your vision. Even when others don't see it, you have to believe in yourself and you have to see it for yourself. Because, it's
Mm,
so hard to just give up on yourself, but you have to have faith in yourself. And especially for people who are struggling with sobriety, it may seem like such a challenge, or you may have all these obstacles along the way, but you have to see the bigger picture for yourself and what you want. And at the end of the day, you have to strive for it and keep the vision of the end goal of what you want and aim for that. And, there may be many days and obstacles along the way, but you can't give up on your vision that you created. You have to keep striving for it. So it's so important to have that reminder, even on days when you feel like that vision is out of reach or you feel like there's no point. There is a reason why you have that vision, and you should continue to go after. Yeah, so I
mhm.
love that.
Thank you, John. Thanks for sharing that.
Hmm.
Appreciate that. Xavier,
Yeah.
how are you feeling with this one? I would love to hear your voice today.
Thank you for sharing, John. Yeah, it's just being able to trust ourselves and hold those visions, like John said, can become very, very difficult. But finding that resiliency and that strength to say, you know what, I'm gonna hold on, I'm gonna keep, this vision and trust that, something that trust that it'll happen, right? So just this idea of surrendering and letting it go. I think oftentimes when we have like these visions and goals and dreams, um, a part of us, we want to hold on to it, right? And we're like, we got to get it and we want to, which is, important to keep that drive, keep that motivation, but also being able to let it go and release it to the creator and say, hey, like this is, the vision that I'm seeing and that I'm wanting, and I am going to, put it out there, write it down, see it in my mind, and then I'm just gonna give it over to the creator and say, hey, the rest is up to you. The rest is, and I'm gonna trust that it'll, like, the meditation says, like it'll come, right? But continuing to be patient, have that faith, and giving yourself permission to surrender and let go and just bear it all and say, you know what, I can do all that I can do. I can do my best, but ultimately it's not fully in my hands, right? But I'm gonna continue to strive and push myself in the best way that I can, and while doing that, being kind to ourselves and understanding, right, that our self-talk definitely can impact, right, can impact how we see the vision if we believe in the vision. So just continuing to even be mindful of those aspects, relatives, right? It can it's such a tricky and wonderful dynamic of the human experience, being able to just kind of say, I'm gonna let this go, and then keep the positive self-talk. But it can, yeah, it's a struggle. It can be hard. And relatives, I'm here to tell you, I struggle with that myself. The positive self-talk of keeping myself pumped and ready to go, right? You know, I have days where I beat myself up, and I have to lean on people. I have to lean on, you know, people like Jamie, people like John, loved ones, right? Breathing exercises, different techniques to just kind of help me come back to myself, come back to the visions and dreams that I have and hold. So I love that meditation, and there's just so much in there, so much in there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you, Xavier. That was really wonderful. Thank you. And you're right, there is a lot that is in that. For me, what's coming up is the statement. So because I found Wellbriety at the beginning of my recovery, the statement that says, we become that which we think about. We move toward and we come like that which we think about. We move toward and we become that which we think about. That really stuck with me from the very beginning. And I found, and I know this to be true because I've experienced it, I've lived it, I've seen others who have experienced it. When you think about the good, you start to see the good, you start to experience the good. And so as we're walking on our journey, if we're having a day where it's like, you know what, everything's going wrong. And has it ever happened to you where like something goes wrong and then you focus on that one thing that went wrong and all of a sudden something else went wrong? And then it's like this effect where like everything became affected by that. But you kept thinking about it. And you're like, see, and then this whole day, and blah, right? And everything went wrong. We've all done that. And so what I really had to practice, and it takes practice, relatives. It does. It doesn't just happen overnight. It takes practice. I had to practice having a moment, having something negative happen, and pausing and saying to myself, what is the opportunity? Or it was, I'm going to let this go. I'm going to let this go to the Creator. I'm going to pray about this. I'm going to smudge. I'm going to offer tobacco. I'm going to, like you said, Xavier, deep breathe. Maybe I'm going to meditate. But I had to practice that over and over and over again, to where the one thing that happened didn't turn into, oh, another thing negative happened, and then another, and then another, and now my whole day is shot. Look at this, you know? So it really is what we think about, what we put into our mind, what we're putting into our physical body. We become that which we move towards and become that which we think about. I really believe that. We have the power to manifest our everything. I really believe we do. And what an amazing way to start our new year, I feel like. I feel like that's a really good way to start our new year, to really have that message of, you have so much control over what happens. And then you also have this great opportunity to release it too, and to trust and have faith that whatever was meant to be and is supposed to happen is going to happen. So on those hard days, on those days where we're feeling like, I don't know if I can do this again. I don't know. Maybe it's just easier if I stick to using substances. Or maybe it's easier if I stick to just talking badly to myself, thinking bad thoughts. Maybe it's just easier if I don't go for a walk and I just stay here and do nothing, or not get motivated to do what it is that you really wanted to do. That thought, that vision that you had for yourself originally. There's going to be days that are hard. That's for sure. But in those moments, I have a small challenge for you to, instead of think of that, whatever that is that's bothering you in the moment, what's the exact opposite? The exact opposite, whatever that is. And say that to yourself. Or write that down. Think about that. Say that out loud. If you're having a moment where you're feeling like, I just looked in the mirror and I don't like what I see, that really makes me sad, I challenge you a little bit to look in that mirror instead and say, I love myself. You are so beautiful. I love you. We move towards, and we become that which what we think about. So if we're always telling ourselves really hard things and we're focusing on what's gone wrong, we start to see that that cycle continues, that we kind of stay there. And you know what? We're here to tell you, relatives, that you don't have to stay there. You don't have to stay there. Okay, so how about we talk a little bit about what we've been talking about the last few weeks, which is creating safety. How do we create safety for ourselves? Because we're in a time where we are walking in recovery. We're walking our healing journey, whatever that means for us. And we're also in the middle of COVID. And it can be hard, right? I mean, we all, Xavier, you know, John, you know, we all have days where we're like, okay, I'm kind of done with this now.
Yeah.
Yes. But we can create safety for ourselves. So I'm going to reread what we're talking about. It's very important to be proactive and institute the kinds of buffering basics into your day that keep you resourced, that reduce stress and build resilience. The supports that you put in place now can serve as safeguards to alleviate or lessen some of the unusual stress that could become cumulative. Setting up a schedule, a support network, recovering a sense of safety, personal space, and quiet can help you to avoid falling into the kinds of problems that could worsen over time. So we have a couple things that we're going to talk about today. We have a couple practical ways that you can do that. Xavier, would you mind reading to us a little bit? We would love it if you brought your spirit, your voice, bring you into this space.
Yes, absolutely.
What are you going to teach us?
So today, one practical way that we can create this safety, right, is learning about fight, flight, freeze, and know when you're in it. So when we get scared or overwhelmed, our animal DNA tells us to run or run mentally or disassociate, to fight, criticize, yell, get aggressive, and me first, or to freeze, shut down, withdraw. And our thinking mind shuts down as our limbic, which reads our sensory and emotional, revs up. We become overactive. overreactive. We need to find ways of calming down in our bodies and minds to maintain emotional sobriety and regulation. Yoga, deep breathing, and meditation are great.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
I loved this entire section, this paragraph, and being able to just even highlight and talk briefly about the way our body reacts when we become distressed, or when we've experienced strong stressors and trauma in our lives. Being able to talk about fight, flight, freeze, like what is that? Like a lot of us don't know what that is, relatives, and that's perfectly normal. We just know that in moments of distress, we act a certain way, right? Like we think about, take some time and just think about a situation, right? And how you respond, right? If your kids are making a lot of noise, or and there's a loud noise, and all of a sudden you may jump, or you hear a horn or tires screeching, and all of a sudden you might kind of zone out, and just kind of your mind takes you, to another place, right? That's your body's way of reacting to the sound situation that you may have experienced in the past. And oftentimes we don't realize that, right? That our body's responding in the present moment due to something we've experienced in the past. And especially right now during, COVID, and being able to having to stay at home, and then as well having to work through, um, you know, sobriety, and learning ways to continue to just maintain that sobriety can be difficult, right? We may be in a state right now, especially where we're uncertain, we're again overwhelmed, we're scared. What's going to happen in the future? We're still in this uncertainty of what's going to happen. Our initial response may be like, hey, I don't know what's going to happen right now. My bills are piling up. I don't have the money. I don't know what's going on. And then from that point you may get into this state of, okay, like your body goes into fight, where it says you're yelling, you're criticizing everything. Or you may go into a state of where you just kind of pull back, right? And you don't want to be bothered, you don't want to talk to anyone, right? You want to isolate, kind of go in your room, curl up in a ball. A part of you may even say, hey, I'm just going to use, because right now I don't know what's going on. I just need this feeling to go away. And right, so those are just some things to be aware of, right, during this time, especially as this pandemic continues to go on, as we continue to live in this reality. um, just being able to again find ways to create that safety, to create some form of routine, right, and finding ways to calm our bodies down, to breathe,
Mhm.
ourselves to just transition and shift so that we can come back to the present moment. And one way that we can do that, relatives, is in that moment, just again, take a deep breath and just look around you and just notice what's around you. One of my favorite activities has to deal with the senses. So finding, I think it's like 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can touch, 2 things you can smell, and then 1 thing you can taste. And that's such a powerful exercise because it engages all 5 of our senses. And when we think about you know distress and trauma, uh, oftentimes what we remember most is the sensory things, right? We can oftentimes it's hard for us to remember, you know, the exact time or date or anything like that, but we remember the certain smells, certain taste with the if it was cold or hot, right? We can remember those things. So being able to incorporate that right in the present moment and saying like, okay, what is 5 things I can see? Oh, there's a red couch. There's the TV. There's my sons over there smiling, right? Being able to allow yourselves again to give yourself permission to come back to say, hey, we're here. We're
Mhm.
here. We're not back there. We understand things may be difficult and there's so much uncertainty, but right now we're here. So yeah, that's I again, I just love being able to talk about, you know, fight, flight, or freeze. And I know there's one more aspect of this that we learned in Generation Red Road approach, right? And it's called friending. So being able to friend those thoughts, being able to friend the distress that we're feeling and saying like, oh, okay, I see you. Hey, buddy, how you doing? You want to hang out? We can hang out just for a little bit, right? And then again, allowing ourselves to release that and just kind of let that go. And the purpose of friending it is to acknowledge it because we want to acknowledge how we're feeling. We want to acknowledge the distress that is that's coming up for us. We don't want to ignore it because it's not going to go anywhere, right? Until we're able to recognize it, until we're able to sit with it, breathe through it, sit with it in silence, and then allow ourselves to say, okay, let's let you go, right? So um so just being mindful of that friend piece as well. So that's my thoughts on that. Thank you for allowing me to share that with you all, relatives.
That was wonderful. That was beautiful. Thank you, Xavier. Thank you. That's exactly what we need, and that's exactly what we're here for, relatives, to be able to get a little bit of education on these pieces that are so instrumental in our recovery, so instrumental in our healing journey, no matter who we are, no matter who we are. If we are walking in the red road or walking in recovery for years or months or weeks or days or hours, or maybe not even walking in recovery, we're just walking some sort of healing journey. We all are.
Yeah.
We're all walking our journey, and it's all sacred. These tools are things that we can all use. I can remember a time where I didn't understand why is it that every time I'm upset by something or I'm triggered by something, that I'm like, I'm out. I don't want nothing to do with this. I'm gone. I don't like you. I don't like you. I don't like none of this. I'm gone. I'm not going to deal with it. Nope. What do you mean I'm supposed to cry? Nope. Not going to do that either. I'm gone. Or if I want to cry, I feel like I have to suppress it. I used to be that person that felt like I had to hide that. I had to shove it all in here and I had to just stuff it down. No, 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 no. And then I learned that the absolute opposite is the truth, really. So yeah, fight, flight, or freeze. That was so freeing to learn and to know that, oh, so I'm not going crazy, because when I hear a loud noise, my heart starts to go like this. And I've been able to work through and figure out, how do I slow myself down so that doesn't happen anymore. When I used to hear a loud noise, or I hear someone talking and it just sounds a little bit just louder than normal, heart going, anxiety rushing through the body, feeling, sweaty, maybe my palms are sweaty. Before, when I was using alcohol, I would never really even know that was happening, because I wasn't allowing myself the amount of time to truly feel those feelings that happen, that ultimately come up. when we stop using substances, or we stop using food as a way to escape, or stop using sex as a way to escape, or stop using any number of things. Maybe it's spending habits, maybe it's self-harm. It could be so many different things, right? When we know what is happening with our body, when we can acknowledge how we feel, there's where the healing is. There's where we start to walk into taking ownership, to be able to name what that is, to start really healing from it. John, how are we doing with our comments? Has there been any comments at all, or?
I haven't seen any comments. Alex did say hi. Alex Wolf.
Who's you, Alex? Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for being here with us.
Mm-hmm.
We're here for Emotional Sobriety every Friday, right around 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. We try so hard to be on time.
We do.
But, with technology and with everything, we get there around 4:10.
Yep.
But we're always here. We're always here. Oh, thank you, Xavier. Thank you so much. And I did want to read one more piece from our workbook, because I think it's a really important thing that we talk about. It says, do a spiritual reset. Instead of getting lost in the feeling of uncertainty, reflect on the idea that all we really know about is today. COVID-19 puts us in touch with our own mortality. Depending on your spiritual learnings, it can also put you in touch with the part of yourself that feels eternal, or your higher self. Moving into this space of the higher self is nourishing and revitalizing. When you learn to access this space within you at will, the situation may not change, but your perspective does. Yes. Yes and yes, I agree. It's all connected to what we have learned over time as being some people call it spirit, some people call it original source. It does depend on your own teachings and your own culture, and depending on what you believe. Many times I've talked in different groups that we've had, even on Wellness Friday, when Xavier and I used to do Wellness Friday, I would talk about an onion so that we could visualize. I like us to visualize things. So if I was holding an onion in my hand right now, and I said, this is you, this onion is you, and your true spirit is at the very center of that onion. And as we've gone in life, maybe even before we were born, things have happened in our environment, our surroundings, our experiences, what we've seen, what we witnessed, what we felt, what we talked about, who we surrounded ourselves with, what we did. There might be some hard stuff. There might be some trauma there. There might be, we know that we have historical trauma, intergenerational trauma. So here's those layers of that onion that have covered and covered and covered our true spirit, who we are. And do you know the biggest blessing that I have seen with COVID-19 is that we have been forced a little bit to slow down, to pause, to sit with ourselves for a while, to reconnect with our loved ones who are in our own household, or reconnect with relationships that we haven't talked to in a while through electronic ways. Some of us have maybe even written letters or cards and sent those out by mail. Remember that? Mail. We put a stamp on it and we sent it in the mail. This time of COVID-19 has really been a blessing to so many. We've found ways to sort of peel back a little bit of that onion. Even if it is just a tiny piece, you showed up today and you are listening and you are here taking a moment. I guarantee that you are peeling back a tiny little piece, a tiny little piece. And if today is day one or minute one of your healing journey, congratulations. Congratulations. You're doing it. You're doing it. And that's how we get to our true spirit. We start to do things like when Xavier talked about deep breathing. Deep breathing. And Xavier, could you tell us why is deep breathing so important for us? What does it do for us when we do deep breathing and we slow down like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you hit it right on the head, right? It slows us down, right? Again, when we're in a state of such strong distress, relatives, we're not able to think clearly. Again, we go into those different responses, flight, or freeze, right? We're either dissociating, where we're not here in the present moment. We're either yelling at people, we're pushing people away, we're isolating ourselves, and being able to, again, deep breathe just really slows everything down, right? It says, okay, okay, okay. Again, right? So it just really allows us to reconnect, and it gives us the opportunity, gives us permission to go within, tune in to our breathing. That way, right, once we're able to slow down, we can then begin to kind of build that tolerance, right, so that we're able to then think clearly. Right. So think about a time, relatives, when you were upset about something and you just kind of reacted, right? And then afterwards, when you calm down, you were like, ooh, maybe I should have thought more clearly before I did something, right? So deep breathing is just that step, that allows us and gives us permission to just kind of ground ourselves, become reoriented within our bodies. And it's just that natural state, right? We often forget how powerful just tuning into our breathing can be. Like, yeah, it's something we do every day and we know that we're breathing, but when we take the time out to actually pay attention to how we're breathing, right? So relatives, I want you all right now to just pay attention to how you're breathing. Notice.
Maybe we could do a little practice with them.
Yeah. So just get in a comfortable position, relatives, wherever you are. If your feet planted firmly on the ground, if you're laying down, whatever you feel you need, just get comfortable. And then with your eyes either open or closed, it's totally up to you. What you're gonna do is just notice and pay attention to your breathing right now. Notice if you're holding your breath. Notice if you're breathing too fast. And then next, I just want you to pay attention to how you're feeling within your body. Are there any areas where you're feeling any tension, any pain? Is there any movements you feel you need to do? Go ahead and do those movements. And then once you feel that you've gotten out those movements, I want you to come back to a place of stillness. And what we're going to do is we're going to inhale for a count of 6. Inhale into all those spaces that you felt pain and that tension. And then we're going to exhale for a count of 8. We're going to breathe out all that tension, all that anxiety, all that stress. So we're going to breathe in for 6 and breathe in light, love and happiness into all those places of tension. And then breathe out for 8. And we're going to do that one more time. And I just want you to come back to a state of stillness and just notice how your body feels right now. And then whenever you're ready, relatives, you can just bring yourself back to the space. Any final deep breaths, any final stretches, any yawns, laughter, giggles. We invite all of that.
Yeah. That was great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Xavier. That was wonderful.
You're welcome.
Oh, so
I
great.
just wanted to read a quick comment. Tracy said, "Happy New Year's to all of us."
Yay.
Oh, Tracy
New Year.
Boozoo, here. We're so glad that you've joined us today. Thank you, Miigwech.
And then
This has been.
And then also Matea Twin said, "I really love how you explain fight, flight, or freeze. I can really see how I use those a lot. Really great insight."
Oh, Miigwech, thank you so much. And welcome, and thank you for being here with us. It is a new year, everyone. Welcome to 2021. Remember that we move towards and become that which we think about. So just challenge yourself. What are you thinking about throughout the day? What are you focusing on? Did you learn something new today? I hope you did. Fight, flight, or freeze. Just being able to be aware how our body is reacting and how we are choosing to react when something tough arrives, or maybe we have a trigger. We're going to have triggers. It's okay. Nothing that is abnormal about that. What we do after we know that we're experiencing that, once we know we're there, what are we going to do? Let's reflect on those things as we move into the new year. We are in the new year. We're moving into the weekend. Now that we are coming to the end, I would love the end of our session today. What I would love is let's do a checkout and let's set our intention for 2021. Who would like to start?
I can go.
Okay, great. Thank you, John.
Yeah, so for 2021, I am going to finish school strong and graduate with my master's in social work. So, huge goal. I'm going to stay strong and work towards it. It's hard, everything virtual and everything like that. Not used to online classes, but it's just a new way of going to school right now. So, I'm going to stay strong and stay focused. And then also
Mm-hmm.
I want to, work on eating healthier for 2021 and stuff like that. It's stressful, especially during this pandemic. Many people are stress eating and stuff like that. So, I know I
Right.
struggle with that too. I'm a stress eater. So, something I want to do is learn how to snack in a healthier way, or, just spend more time cooking healthier and less carbs. I love carbs, but maybe some reduction in carbs.
Thank you, John. Thank you for that. Thank you for setting the intention for your 2021. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Xavier, would you like to go?
Yes, thank you, John. Um, so my intentions, so many. I would like to continue to surrendering and being open to my role as a healer and leaning into that, and not being afraid of it, right? And being able to trust that um, trust that the things that the gifts that I have them for a reason, and that I will continue to just give them forward and pay them forward in a way that um, is used in the common good of everyone, right? Um, so that's one of my biggest intentions for this year, and just being able to um, grow in other areas in terms of now that I have graduated with my master's this past December, woo woo, um, leaning into those adulthood things. So learning how to increase like financial literacy and what words and different things mean, because I have no idea. Um, so I want to just learn about those things, and um, growing my own my own businesses or just things like that, right? So just leaning into educating myself in that way, and just really being intentional and I guess uh, more intentional in my friendships, relationships with people, right, in general, leading with love as always, and um, just really being open to giving and receiving from anyone that I come in contact with, and just continuing my own healing journey and leaning into peeling back the layers of my onion so that I can continue to just let my light shine and be that example for others, and just have a great time as I journey through life. So yeah, those are my biggest intentions for this year. Just more leaning into a lot of different spaces. So, and being open to that. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you, Xavier. Thank
Thank
you for sharing your intention for your 2021 and leaning into all that. You are such an amazing healer, a natural healer. And so it's going to be wonderful to watch your spirit shine through all of that. Thank you. And my intentions for 2021 have a lot to do with my own healing journey, creating space for recognizing where I still have pain and digging into that. And so my intentions for 2021 are a lot of self-care, a lot of self-care practices that I will continue to do that I did in 2020, but I'm adding more to them. So I have been wanting to learn yoga and practice yoga, and that is something that I am going to do. I ordered what I needed and I have it on the way. So I'm excited about that. So yoga is going to be part of my intention. Really being able to sit with and recognize that my time is valuable, and really honoring that I can't be at all places all the time, and recognizing what it is that I want for my spirit, and honoring that, and in turn honoring my sobriety, in turn honoring my heart and my soul, and in turn honoring my own family, my friends, my community in a good way, and lots of self-reflection, because this journey of healing is lifelong. It doesn't stop, and it continues to get even better as I've learned that it gets better as I'm growing and as I'm learning more about me and who I am as a person and as a spirit. We're spiritual beings having a human experience, and it's been amazing. All of it, even the hard stuff. So welcome to 2021. I'm so excited to see what happens in 2021 for all of us and relatives. I hope you spend a few minutes.
Just very quickly, I have a comment I just wanted to read, and it's also from Matea, saying that her goal for 2021 is to be more present in the moment. And she said that I check out a lot. I need to be more present in my body so I can let go of the physical tension I always hold, and being more present for my family, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually.
Oh, thank you, Matea. Miigwech, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yes, and you're modeling the right behavior, Matea. That's exactly what I was going to say. Is I challenge, just a little tiny challenge to all of you, to spend a few moments today and really think about what is it that you want for 2021. Set your intention. And there's many ways that you can do that, but even just sitting and thinking about it. Maybe you'll journal it. Maybe you'll do a vision board. Maybe you'll write it on a notebook. However you do, I hope you take a few minutes and do that. Well, relatives, it's been so amazing and wonderful. Thank you so much, Miigwech, for coming here and spending this time with us for emotional sobriety. We will be back again next week, Friday, right about 4:00 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Working on it.
Yeah. All right. Sending you all so much love. Thank you. Miigwech.